how RSD victims are very, very stubborn and they have to do things their way. They can never do it their way. Johnny Elite, the world's best day game coach, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But for RSD victims, they always have to do it their way. So I had this student, an argument yesterday, about to kick him out. And he told me I have permission to post about this story. And I think you guys can learn a lot because you've been learning a lot about the psychology of RSD victims. In fact, your mind will be so open, you'll be like, holy shit. Have you ever noticed whenever I teach RSD victim, they always have to do it their way. They can never do it the Johnny Elite way. Why does that happen? Well, first of all, let's talk about the story of what happened yesterday that the student gave me permission to post about it. So at first, he didn't want to get a hairstyle change. He just wanted to drill down some of his social skills, flow drill, and body language with it due to stubbornness. That's number one. Number two, he had an Insta hangout yesterday with a woman for 1 hour, but nothing happened. So he's at the mercy of her phone number, whether or not she will visit him again. He's only 5'3", guys. And when he's holding her hand during the Insta hangout, she doesn't see him as boyfriend material. So that's not a good thing. Number three, he dismissed the hair thing. So in the very beginning, even though my hair is really messy today, and I don't feel like fixing it, when he started out, he had a haircut. He spent about $40. Hey, what's up? So he spent about $40. It's kind of expensive for a haircut. Normally, I cut my own hair. So today, I like to have it a little bit messy. I'm okay with it. I don't feel like fixing it. However, he got the haircut of my other students, but at the same time, this guy was not wearing the dress shirt, nor was he wearing the proper pants. So what happened was he was wearing a baggy jacket that Asian people wore. And he was wearing very baggy pants, like black pants. It took away any advantages that he had with that particular hairstyle. It's kind of like it's nullified and voided. So what happened afterwards was his hair grew back over time. At that time when his hair grew back, I'm dizzy right now just talking or thinking about it. I want you guys to feel it, what it feels like to teach students like this. When his hair grew back, because he can't really afford a haircut, he doesn't have a job, he finally got the dress shirt in the certain pants. And he's noticed his compliance have gone up a little bit. Not totally, but a lot better than before. And then the next step was he got heel lifts. Being a 5'3", which is extremely short for an Asian man, his compliance tripled. And I told him to, pluck the eyebrows so they look thinner. It looks like an owl. So at that point, after he plucked the eyebrows, he thought it was the eyebrows and the heel lifts that made more of a difference than the haircut. So he started resisting. Like an RSD victim, they just have to resist. And the word is, they have to make it as difficult as humanly fucking possible. Every single time. They can't do it your way. Even though it got so many people laid during COVID-19. So why does the RSD victim do it their way? I'll explain soon. But we'll talk about the sequence of events. So after you got the shirt and the heel lifts, right? I have to spend an hour on the phone or more talking to him and texting him because I couldn't get through to his mental filter. He wouldn't get it. So I had to keep convincing him, and that was really annoying. And that's a problem because that's a fault of the brain of RSD victim. They have to know every detail of what's going on. They cannot just take your word for it. They need to understand it. So that's what they call environmental exposure. Kind of like when I met Dan Pena in real life. He corrected me. When he corrected me, I was able to learn faster. Even though I knew everything that he taught online on YouTube, when he corrected me, he gave me a good strategy for taking on RSD. He gave me a great strategy. That's environmental exposure. So talking with people, that's the only way you can change the prescription glasses of a person. Like I said, I don't feel very good. That's why I'm talking a little bit fucked up and feeling very dizzy. But I'm going to get the gospel out there, whether you guys like it or not. So eventually, I told him if he cannot afford a haircut, he might as well, hey, what's up? He might as well just get a razor and start to cut his own hair. Kind of like how I cut my own hair. See that? I cut this myself. You're like, what the fuck? Yeah, I cut my own fucking hair. Like, no way. Yeah, I cut my hair. I always cut my own hair. I colored my own hair. So that's where the argument gone to, because I told him to cut his own hair. He looks really, really awful. And he disagreed with me. I don't agree with that, like a sheep. So I showed him the last YouTube live. I was like, here's the screenshot of a sheep saying, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. So he didn't want to watch the video, and that's okay. He dismissed it, exactly like I said in the last YouTube live. But what happened for his mindset for now? He's resisting. You're going to learn a lot about RSD victims and their mindset, about the stubbornness. A lot of people are stubborn. So for him, he wanted to get a $50 razor. And I told him, after being an hour on the phone with him for the environmental exposure, he wanted a cheaper one for $33. I want him to get a cheaper one for $33 so he can spend $10 buying a pomade to get his hair up, even though I'm not using pomade in my hair right now. First, he has a very thick curly hair, and he's 5'3", and having a shit hairstyle is like a double negative. Even though he got Insta Hangout, which is okay. I have other students that are dating strippers. Asians love to ego trip. They love to mentally masturbate. They like to feel good. They have to do it their way. So he argued that he didn't want heat on his hair. And he bought the $50 razor anyways. I told him to buy the $33 one, the cheaper one. There was like a $23 one, which had less accessories. But he needed to shave his beard. He needed to do it his way. Well, he's going to refund it now. And he already has. Or is in the process of it. But I'll explain. So, let's see. That day, right? On June 16th. And I wrote this on June 20th. I'm reading from a blog post. I had two students tell on WhatsApp to listen. John's always right. So it was an Indian student. But I can't really go through all the details because I haven't censored what he said. But this Indian student tells the other student that John's always right. And the German student is always saying, just listen to John. You cannot just do it your way. So that's what happened. The student had to explain in detail about how John has been like almost psychic, and every single thing he predicted has been 100% accurate. And how the student, the Indian student,
I'm one of John's students, and I just want to say that whatever John says, right, it turns out to be correct, like a Bible, right? It's 100% correct. For example, recently John asked me to start. That's are coming out of my person correct. There are many examples. Whatever John predicts, it turns out to be correct. And whenever I do not listen to John's advice, right, it backfires, right? After 4 months, it will kick my ass. So believe me, listen to John's
So he's
advice.
talking about in 4 months, just like when I made a video about low self-esteem, RSD victims. I say exactly in 4 months, everything blows up in their fucking face. Completely. It just destroys in their life. And that's exactly what happened in this story. He's saying that listen to John Elite. No matter what, he's saying I'm 100% right. And over the years, he's been pretty resistant in the very beginning. So it's not like this student thought, well, these guys are minions. They're worshiping you. No, students don't worship me. They fight with me to the death in the beginning. And eventually, after yelling at them, when they realize they're fucking idiots, what happens is they submit their ego and they'll say, I'll do it your way, John. And then they start getting success, so they keep doing it my way. Even though they disagree with me, they don't care. They'll still disagree and do it my way and get the results. That's why people come to me and keep coming back. They want more results because their way never works.
The hairstyle which John says, I also did not like that hairstyle initially. The hairstyle which John said, right, recommends to us. I did not like it, but I did it anyway. And when I went outside, all friends were liking me. Even my female friends, right? After that hairstyle, my female friends.
So I was just forwarding to WhatsApp so the other student can see past students what they have to say about it.
Female friends who friend-zoned me, they started liking me a bit because of that hairstyle. So just listen to what John says. Because our neural pathways, right? They are different than other people. They are different than they are different than John's neural pathways. So just listen to John's advice and just follow it. Don't resist. Okay, it will change your life. Believe me, you are going to see results. And yes, so one more thing I want to add is that whatever John predicts, right, it turns out to be correct after 4 months. Like recently, like around John cannot predict when I get results, and but turns out it was correct. Exactly 2 years after I met John in 2019. I met John in 2017, and in 2019 I pulled. Uh, so that was my first result. So everything is accurate, 100% correct. Like what's going to happen, what's not going to happen, is connected to universe. I know it sounds a bit. You might feel it's not correct, but yes, there is a universe, universal power, and John is connected to it, and he can see the future, and it turns out to be 100% correct. Whenever I did not listen to his advice, it will backfire me. Whenever I do not listen to any of his, he will recommend courses and books. If I do not read them, if I do not work on them, it backfires. I, something bad happens to me. So believe me, whatever John says, it's 100%. After 4 months, you are going to regret this. After 4 months, yeah, you will regret. Oh, I should have listened to John's advice. And believe me, get that hairstyle. I know you might feel it's not the correct hairstyle, but that hairstyle, it works. It works here, right? So
Yeah, you got so many layers. You got married. You got all this stuff. Hey, John, I miss your live streams. Well, I'm back. So fashion and it's not about just fashion and whatever. There's a specific hairstyle that all the students did, and this student's resisting me, and he's telling me, "Oh yeah, I don't think it's a big deal." The thing with RSD victims is that they like to make it as hard as humanly fucking possible for themselves. Why make it harder on yourself? At first, he got like baggy fucking pants and a baggy jacket, and then he got the hairstyle finally, and he says, "Oh, it didn't work as well." But he was 5'3", no heel lifts. He finally got the same dress shirt as me and got the certain pants I told him to get. So it's not just fashion. He finally was whitewashed. It opened up a little bit. Then he got the heel lifts. And then all of a sudden, women were more into him after I told him to cut his eyebrows because it was too thick. Everything he's done made it harder on himself. Even when he dig in his eyebrows, whenever he talks to women, he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" "Oh, that's great." "Uh-huh, I see." It's like, what the fuck, man? He's Mr. making it harder for himself no matter what. And he says, after I talked to him yesterday, I was about to kick him out, but I gave him one more chance. 3 strikes, he's out.
Other than that, I'll say that any of your day game advice has always led to progress and always led to good results. And even if I didn't understand it at the time or couldn't make any sense of it, it showed that it proved to be the best day game advice I ever got.
So this is the 50-year-old man that got a girlfriend under my training and actually a separate blowjob too in a karaoke bar. And he's always dating super hot 20-year-olds. So it's like consistent, even during COVID-19. So he's training under me again for Kaizen, like 2.0 or something. He's lost some of the neural pathway. He's doing 1,000 fucking reps a day. I know it seems insane, but that's the only way I can keep his denture in his fucking teeth so it doesn't misalign and fall out. But these guys are trying to tell him.
And in addition to that, one more thing, his prediction about my marriage also was correct. 100%. I'm telling you, in September, I remembered asking him like, "What are you seeing in the future?" He said, "Okay, you might get married. Something big is going to happen." And exactly 1 month after, I met my wife, and after 4 months, we got married. So his prediction about my marriage also was very accurate and correct.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. It's like everything I've been telling you about RSD after all these years turns out to be correct. As if I was from the future or something. I'm coming back in the past, in a time machine and telling you everything. I told you that Justin Wayne is a fucking crazy motherfucker. And you guys are like, "Oh, no, you can't say that about him." And the black students get angry at me. And then it turns out he's a complete fucking psycho. Vice saw to that. And I was right. I was right about everything. Like every fucking thing I've ever predicted was correct. Like everything. Nothing was incorrect. Like not incorrect.
And in addition to that, one more thing, his prediction about my marriage was...
Like, for example, the golden watch that you recommended, I didn't really want that. I wanted another one. But this is truly the single most, the single accessoire to which most people are asking, "Oh, what is that? Where did you get that?" This is
Well, basically, for the old man, he was fighting me in the very beginning. He spent a month fighting with me, and he had to do it his way. Like, he was a former RSD victim, so he was trained by RSD and a lot of coaches, but he didn't get any results. He wanted to have a watch his way, and I said you have to get like a gold Rolex or something, and he wanted a Daytona with leather straps, and I tell him, like, women do not recognize that shit as a Rolex, even though it's a Daytona Rolex, they don't recognize that at all. And what happened was that watch led to him getting his girlfriend. That watch led to him all like the dates, led to all this other stuff. That small change, because women recognize that. And some guy keeps asking me about my belt, the Gucci belt. Oh yeah, I mean, I always wear Versace, not Gucci. I don't really like Gucci, but the thing is that women recognize these things. It's very symbolic. They don't give a fuck about the $30 watch you bought in the fucking pharmacy place like London Drugs or some shit like that in Canada. They don't give a fuck about those watches, how cool it looks. Women recognize these things. So it turns out to be 100% correct. The student, after all this, of course, did not listen to them. He completely disregarded these people. This is what they call stubbornness. And the reason why there's a stubbornness, and I told the student this, for sociopaths, they have 10 traits of stubbornness. They have to win at all costs. They can never apologize. They're delusional as fuck. And they'll never think they're wrong. Even if you prove they are wrong, they'll still, that's how they think. And the second thing is not just a sociopath. With autism, because they have a very shallow brain. It's like you see on the surface level. That's why they love game. They love these stupid PUA lines. They love more game, John. More game. I need more game, because they have a shallow thinking. They never think beneath the surface. This is why my social skills and social calibrations does not make any sense to you guys, even though I feel like I'm here from the future trying to warn you. So I told this Indian student that this Vietnamese student was not listening, and he made one more message, and he pleaded with him to listen, and this guy still disregarded. This is how they think. They need to understand every fucking detail before they even take action.
So regarding the stubbornness, right? I will explain you. What happens is whenever John is telling me something, right? I won't understand it, right? It will be like a new thought, a new idea for me. And what happens is I have my own method. I have my own way of thinking, and I have my own belief systems, right, which are wrong, right? So whenever John said to me, right, he suggested me something, I used to fight him back. I said, no, you are wrong. Like when he took me for a haircut, I was like, why is he taking me to get a haircut, man? Come on, my hairs are fine. Why?
Yeah, in the boot camp, he was like, when am I getting a haircut? And also, he was fighting on me, saying, I think this sweatshirt looks okay. I mean, in university, women, like, I don't want to overdress. Like, he just kept arguing with me in the boot camp. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with him? This student, although because he lost his virginity and banged women of many different races, all the different races, and then he got married, I think in some ways it's all forgiven, but he was one of those students, but he redeemed himself. So he got laid, and he's not part of the list of students that did not get laid. But yeah, he's very resistant at the time. And that was when I met him before, when he had all his hair, he was much skinnier. So
Why do we need a haircut? But I still did it anyway, right? In spite of my stubbornness. So that was like, and after that haircut, the results were awesome. And this is just one example. There are at least 100 examples where.
And it's funny because they're talking about the same example, the haircut thing that the other students fighting me on. The better question is for you RSD victims. Why do you insist on playing the game on the most difficulty level? Remember how people are thinking like, oh, you should find your own hairstyle and whatever. But the funny thing about Asians and COVID-19 is that 42% of Americans, when they voted, do you know a single Asian American? And not a single one even knew. It's like 42% had no fucking idea, except Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee. And you guys are still having hair like fucking Bruce Lee. And today, my hair is messy on purpose, maybe just for this video. But you guys are getting my point. That why make it hard on yourself? No, but I want to find my own fashion. Like RSD victim, right? RSD hoodies. Why make it hard on yourself? Why wear baggy clothing like Asians, where they wear 5 sizes too big? It's not even like one size too big or two sizes, like 5 sizes too big every single fucking time. Why make it harder on yourselves? Right? The guy's fucking 5'3". I mean, that's very short. And I didn't know that until like a little bit later. I was like, shit, you're 5'3"? Fucking get heel lifts. And he's like, I don't want. Why make it harder on yourself? And when he got the heel lifts, it was a big, big difference. It was a big, big difference. He was like, holy shit. Eyebrows things. And on top of that, Asians don't even fucking listen to the women because they're narcissistic. This guy's Vietnamese, and most of my students are Vietnamese, are all offended and all narcissistic. They're nicer than the Chinese, though. The Chinese are just fucking, they're just so fucking offended, and they love to ego trip. They love to ego trip. They all love to have positive reactions. They don't care about positive compliance because for them, high ego, low self-esteem. Where they feel like they're doing something, having an hour conversation, or the other guy who was also on Elite Access, a Chinese guy, he was dating strippers finally, and guess what happened when he dated strippers? He started ego tripping, and I couldn't get through to him. They have to do it their way because they're sociopaths. They have opinions as facts, and it's the genetic thing. One of their parents are crazy as fuck, and this happens to all the RSD victims. They have to add their own contribution to the problem. So if you tell them, here's the recipe, they have to take a shit in it and say, I have to add my own contribution. Or I say, drive down this way. They have to grab the steering wheel and drive it into the thing. And this Indian student is trying to explain to him the psychology of why he does something like that. Okay.
Examples where I resisted John's advice. Like, for example, my salary is right. Apply his advice. Yeah, John was correct. Right. I should have listened to John.
Good afternoon.
So, and that the way we think, right, it's very different, right? There is a resistance. We feel if somebody is giving an advice, we feel a lot of resistance, right? It's a very new concept for us. But believe me, that is the reality. It takes time for us to adapt, right? So just accept everything and start implementing it. Even if you don't want to implement it, even if you don't feel like following his advice, but still just do it. Do whatever John says. You will see the results. For example, I'll tell you more examples, right? Like he used to tell me to wear a blazer, black blazer, which he and his with John's mentor selected for me. I never liked that blazer, and
this Indian student, my Pakistani mentor, you know that? We both picked out the blazer for him in the clothing at the Zara. You're like, holy fuck, he met him? That's correct. He's like, this guy looks like my Indian uncle. This guy's the best fucking POA in the world. It's like, yep, that's him. But then my Pakistani mentor was very alpha, perfect social skills. And the way he behaves, his behavioral game is really amazing. And he's like, holy shit, this guy is the best. It's like, fuck, he's alpha as shit. He doesn't look like that type, but he is that type. So when I try to teach you guys social skills, no, you got to do it your way. You got to have more game.
And I felt like there was a lot of resistance. I felt like a lot of resistance. Like,
yeah, for him, because he's Indian looking and he looks very foreign, he's in a place where it's full of white girls, really hot white girls. And what happens is that because there's less minorities where he lives, he's always getting xenophobia. Every time he went outside, they judged him. They wanted to get away from him. When he wears a blazer, women start opening him. They start talking with him, and he's like, what the fuck? But he spent 1 year of not listening to my advice. He says, I still went to Zara, like he did his way, took a shit in the Vice. He picked out the fucking jacket from Zara, which looks Indian as fuck. And he became a negative stereotype. Even though it's from Zara, the place I always shop at. Even this is from Zara. Everything's, pants is from Zara. But for some unknown fucking reason, he had to do it his way. I'm losing my voice. Yesterday, I've been talking so much, trying to convince this student, and you'll understand the mechanics of his brain of how it works.
Why do I need to wear that blazer? This and that. Oh, I don't want to look like too much outside when I go outside for pickup. So, but then one day John shouted at me, and I just wore the blazer anyway. And girls started approaching me. Like girls were approaching me on that day after wearing that blazer. It was like a magic.
forget about boyfriend material and all this romantic sexual shit or romantic shit. Because if you're, unless you're like a tall white guy or a positive stereotype, you never fit into the boyfriend zone. Unless you're like a tall white, tall black looking, or tall Latino, Middle Eastern looking, then you can be the boyfriend material. But you rather be the husband material, because the husband, every woman will always have around 12 boyfriends in their life. From 18, they'll have a boyfriend that's short. 19, 20, they'll have like super tall boyfriend, like 6'4" or 6'3". And throughout the whole early 20s, eventually they'll date someone a little bit shorter, and they'll get married around the 12th boyfriend. They'll sleep with a bunch of guys on Tinder in between that. However, that's women's life. They have a short window of opportunity. That means it's like a nightclub. This is the line, 12 people. If you want to budge in the front of the line, you be husband material. Does that make sense? Because for an Asian, he has no fucking value if he's short and 5'3" to be a husband material, and he's still holding her fucking hand in this instance at 5'3", even with heel lifts around like 5'5" or something, maybe 2 inches at most. He's holding her fucking hands, and he's expecting her to text him back. And I told him it's not going to happen. She's going to backward rationalize that he doesn't fit in the boyfriend frame. Never ever be in the boyfriend frame. Always be in the husband material. People can say, "Oh, be in the fuckboy frame," and doing. They don't have, like, other people can say whatever shit they want, but only Johnny Lee has all the late testimonials. You look at the other dating coaches, like these Asians, these stupid fucking Asian dating ABCs of attraction. Like one late testimonial during the entire COVID-19. Queefing Casanova, only one fucking late testimonial from a bootcamp student who claimed he has 6 poles, but how many of the poles are lays? We don't know. They're poles, right? But are they lays? But it doesn't matter, because now he thinks he's a god. You guys, these Asian people should stick to night game and get the fuck off my fucking turf. All right, I digress. Let's continue. Right? We can't just say that, oh, they're experts because they got one late. It's like a fucking checklist for Daygame. You can see that Asians don't have any fucking social skills, and they love to ego trip. That's why there's only one fucking late testimonial for Queefing Casanova and one for JT Scam. But he's not a scam, but, you know, this is just a funny name.
It was like a magic. So that stubbornness, right? The resistance which you feel, it's a wrong feeling. You won't get anything. Whatever you are thinking, whatever you are feeling, it's wrong. They don't make any sense. Whatever John says, just implement it. He can be a bit harsh sometimes, but just keep on implementing whatever he says. Just don't think, just implement it. Okay, you need to get a haircut, just do it. Or you need to buy this blazer, okay, done, quickly do it. That's the mindset you have to work with. Otherwise, you won't get any results. That's the truth. If you don't implement John's training, you won't get any results. It's going to be a disaster. Believe me. You feel you are correct right now. You feel that, okay, if you are stubborn, you are correct right now. You are 100% correct, right? But no, you are not correct. John is correct. Whatever he's telling is correct. Just put aside that stubbornness feeling. That stubbornness, that resistance, right? It's a wrong feeling. You won't gain anything out of it. Just put it aside and start quickly doing whatever John says. He can be a bit harsh sometimes, so you may not feel like following his advice. This happens to me, but do it anyway. It will change your life.
So he's saying that even if you're offended by my advice, if you just accepted everything I say as like he said 100% track record of being right. So that means so many times it blew up in his face for this Indian student. You tell him to do something, and what happens is that he goes into a stage of like that. And that happens to some of the students too, because he's like, oh, I don't want to put heat in my hair. I told him to get like a fucking razor, a pomade, and also a hair dryer so I can put the hair up there. And then you can put the pomade so it sticks up. Because right now the hair is not sticking up so much. I've been putting more like rosemary oil. It grows back the hair a little bit. So I haven't been using pomade as much, but you can see without pomade, it doesn't fucking stick up. And if you don't use the fucking hair dryer, the thing is going to be parted from left to right after he got his hair cut because he didn't use a hair dryer. I should not be giving the secrets of how I keep my hair up. That should be kept out of the public eye and kept out of the public. It should be secret. But this is some of the procedures that I use in steps, including a pomade, a hair dryer. He said, no, I got to do a cold. That's the problem, because now he has to refund this. So what happened was I told him that if he doesn't listen, and he claims he does, I'm going to kick him out. Hearing and listening is two different things. Hearing and, listening is two different things. So I had to call him again over the phone yesterday. That's why I don't feel so good today, like a headache. But I want to get this message out because what I'm saying here is the gospel of today's lesson. That a lot of RSD victims, and he's a former RSD victim, they all think exactly the same. They have to make everything as hard as humanly possible. I remember one time my Pakistani mentor was wearing like a hoodie, and he called it RSD hoodie, just like I do. We make a joke about it. It's like the Johnny Lee joke, the inside joke. RSD. He said, I'm going to wear this RSD hoodie. I'm going to go out there in Daygame and close, and then I'm going to spite you in spite of it. I'm going to show you this RSD hoodie works. I don't have to dress well. It didn't work. It didn't work. He used it on a date, and he still banged the women, but for Daygame, it did not work. So RSD always insists you wear this fucking cheap hoodie in baggy clothing and Todd Valentine's puffy jacket bullshit. And Todd Valentine's looking so fucking smug right now, as if he got laid, but he walked a woman into a cab, and that's like twice at nighttime. A cab is not a fucking pole unless you whip out your dick and get arrested by the police. The thing is that a fucking cab is not a pole. No matter how much these white dating coaches want to think that a fucking cab is a pole. It's not a fucking pole. Stupid. Oh, but she's gonna go. How you know that? Show me proof. Oh no, but it's illegal, right? Because I vetted my lawyer. Shut the fuck up. Show us some fucking proof. Otherwise, I'm not gonna call it proof. I'm gonna call it evidence. But I digress. So I told him that, if he doesn't listen, I'll kick him out. So I had to call him again, and he said exactly the same excuse, that the old man is bald. Oh, because the old man's 5'7", my student got a girlfriend. He's bald. Therefore, I don't have to worry about my hair. So I decided, and I hope it's okay with the old man. I show him the old man's Instagram with the 6 algorithms I talk about on Inner Circle, the top secret algorithms that create conversions. So whenever you hear these self-proclaimed high lay count guys telling you, oh yeah, I'll never use an Instagram because the women can, pick the thing to disqualify you with. Of course, in theory, just like idealistic thinking, that may sound correct. There's always a good, better, and best. However, if you have 2 algorithms, which is lifestyle and pre-selection, then of course the women can pick something to disqualify, because that was only 2 of the equations. But this German guy had 6 equations, 6 algorithms, that Johnny Lee algorithms that could create conversions like crazy. And it's top secret from the world. There's a lot I don't teach you. In the Inner Circle, they learn a lot more than you guys do. You guys haven't learned shit. You guys think, oh, I'm going to sit around here and learn a lot from John. Yeah, you're learning something, but you're just learning a drop in the fucking bucket, you dumb fucks, because that's why you have a shallow thinking. But you're learning a lot, but you're not learning everything. Inner Circle is learning like almost 10 times as much as you are, and even the tactics. But I digress. So basically what happened was the old man is that once he saw his Instagram with the 6 algorithm, he's like, fuck, this guy has like hot 20-year-olds all over the fucking Instagram. He has like all these other algorithms I do not want to talk about. But as soon as the woman sees all 6 algorithms, automatically they convert. That means you can just have 6 pictures with these 6 algorithms instead of having 60 pictures. They'll still convert. Because that's how women's minds work. And Johnny Lee knows. That's why some of my students, the lowest SMV, they use their Instagram. I don't use it. But, however, that's what they use. John, I was in Miami last month. I ran into 2 RSD Madison, RSD Tyler. I couldn't believe they were still doing boot camps. They had a lot of Asian students. Well, it's not surprising, because this is why that I'm here. Because if I don't talk about RHD, the Asians who are the most impressionable, because the reason why Asians like RSD is because they say looks don't matter and race don't matter. And people is always telling me RSD is dead. RSD is dead. If you can see them in boot camps last month, they are not dead. Their tumor happens because Asians have no self-esteem and they're delusional. So I told the student that because he had low self-esteem and super fucking high ego, and he's delusional and has to do things his way. I talk about the 4 traits of low self-esteem. Number 1, delusions. Number 2, spam approaching without skills. That's a lazy way. Number 3, I told him about the wrong path, the sociopath. That's what the Indian students try to warn him about. And number 4, cowardice. Eventually, he'll burn out. His eyes would turn like from red, ego tripping, to black. When his eyes are black, it'll be dark. It'll be like talking to a fucking zombie. And he's very close to that right now when he does it his way. So, but I digress. So I was about to kick him out. And now he has to refund the razor because he cannot afford it because he doesn't have a job. He only has a little bit of money every single month. Spending that $50, now he realized, oh shit, I should listen to John. Because if he want to get a hair dryer, still doing his way, with the cold air, you press the button that has cold air, then that's going to cost around $30, $20-$30. Plus a pomade. He's like, fuck, I get a pomade. Yeah, because you got curly hair and it's very thick for an Asian. So it doesn't really, it's not well controlled. It's very, very thick. And the old pomade and the hairdresser did not work that well. So that's going to cost him right now, if he kept the razor for $50, it's going to be over $90. Although it's not a lot of money to me personally. For him, it's a lot of money. He does not have a job. And he told me the same thing, like, oh, I almost got a job, or that women almost like want to come and meet me again. I said, you didn't get a fucking job. They're not going to call you back. Until it happens, you stop saying that you're going to get that job. It's confusing. It's like saying, I almost no, you didn't. No, you didn't. But you see how these guys think. So RSD is really that toxic. If they still have Asian students all over it, Asians have no fucking self-esteem. That's why they go to RSD. Most of them are going to quit eventually. And, most RSD victims are going to go to Thailand. This is the last year for RSD victims. A lot of them are quitting. But you can see RSD really gets these people. That's why they're RSD victims. They cannot do more than like 2 steps. They can't listen to you. They're very ADHD. They cannot follow instructions. They have to do it their way. And the reason why they like the spam approach without skills is very simple. Because they can't do more than 2 steps. And for them, doing this triangular flow drill of social skills, their brain shuts down. Even with the 52-year-old man, when I'm teaching him in Kaizen now, if we do more than 3 steps, we know it's like RSD mindset. Like, yeah, I know. I can't focus. I'm trying. I cannot see the mistakes. It's like, shit, you cannot see the mistakes in your posture. They're delusional. They cannot see their mistakes. So what's happening with this guy is that now he has to wait a week or something for them to process the refund for the razor so he can get his money back. And then from there on, he can finally buy a cheaper razor, which is the same company. It's almost exactly identical. So he realized, oh shit, I should have listened to John in the first place. Turns out John was right. For $55 or something, not very expensive, around there, he could have got everything, all 3 items, and he can have nicer hair. And that 1 hour Insta hangout could have at least led to a poll. Wouldn't that be worth it for $55 if the woman was compliant because of the hair? Of course, you could disagree with me on the hair. And most RSD victims don't even get laid on the boot camp for day game. They get laid during night game. So if it works during night game for RSD to some degree, but not day game, then why would anyone take it? RSD victims are that stupid. They're that impressionable. And then when RSD comes back, when COVID-19 is over, guess what? The tumor will continue to grow. This is what happens. This is a low self-esteem cult. These Asians have low self-esteem. They're delusional. And for you, Laurie Gru, you did exactly whatever I said on YouTube Live. And you got laid out of it. So twice, I believe. So yeah, I mean, if you're not listening to me, if people just listen to me as if like everything I'm saying is 100% true and they work around like a battlefield, they'll get laid super fast. So why make it harder on yourself? Elite 30 is making it easier. Everything's making it easier, but they just have to do it their fucking way. It's so stupid. So yeah, I mean, for the people out here, you want some proof, right? Success leaves clues. This guy got 2 lays, but he's a tall black guy. Well, it doesn't matter. He got laid just from the YouTube Live. So good for him. Good for him. All right. So now that he realized, oh shit, you guys spend so much time and money, the entire month of June is going to be gone during summer. He's going to be there with shit hair. And he's going to be trying to just, ego trip. I don't want him to be a salesman. I want to be a closer. A salesman can just take massive action. But if he's not closing the deal, then who gives a fuck? So, Indian student, yeah, I'd say the same story. Let's see. Old man, I'm talking about him. Yeah, the funny thing was that he thought these students were worshiping me. He thought, well, the German student's worshiping you, and so is the Indian student. But as the Indian student said, even on the boot camp, completely resistant, losing my voice after too much talking with him for hours. Maybe it's laryngitis or something. So if I cough, I don't mean to. It's really irritating. That's why when you ever, and I had to spend like all these hours just to change his fucking mind. He wasn't gonna get a haircut. He just want to learn the drills. He's like, this is the problem. He's like, he doesn't understand my mindset. Laurie Grew may not understand what I'm saying, but he did exactly everything I told him to do, and he got laid twice. And that's the funny thing, is that you don't have to understand what I'm saying. A lot of you feel like, oh, I have to understand every detail. How does a light bulb work? How does the inside of a car work? No, you press the gas pedal, you go towards that direction, and you press on the gas, and you go towards the street I tell you to. It's that simple. But they can never follow the instructions. They always have to resist. It's like an MMA match to them. It's like an MMA match. And they like to dismiss things. And that's the problem. I told him, do you understand what Elon Musk is thinking? If you try to explain things, if you try to explain to you over text, and he says, no, probably not. Rocket science, no. You'll never understand the mindset of a general Johnny Late. It's like the future general, like John Connor coming back in time to warn you guys about the impending doom. But instead, Laurie Grew listened. But the other people did not listen. The ones who don't listen, they always find out in a few years that John's always 100% right. They feel like I'm wrong. And where does this feeling come from? In their brain, they're like, John's wrong, John's wrong. That low self-esteem voice tells them I'm wrong. The feeling of tells them that I'm wrong. But in reality, they always are wrong, and it always blows up in their face. I show him another student just like him, who's schizophrenic, a 5'3" student. And he was arguing with me how it's schizophrenia is not hereditary. And I was talking about the 3 genes that were passed on YouTube Live, and also I read it out loud. So this guy's fucking crazy. He thought I was teaching him over there in that country. I was in the bar. I don't teach bar game, but he hallucinated that I was teaching him. And I was like, no, dude, I didn't fly over there. I did not teach you. That was not me. That was your fucking hallucination. And like, holy shit, these guys are very delusional. That's an extreme case, but all RSD victims are delusional. They cannot see the women, and they cannot see the expression. So for the old man, he thought that he was doing the social skill flow drill. He thought he was doing this, he was being flirty and sexualizing it. He said, I touched her hand, John, one time. And she said, ouch. But guess what? When we played the infield for the first day of Kaizen, he did absolutely zero sexualization, zero flirts, zero social skill flow drill, zero. And I taught him the day before. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, I don't know. He just told the women, go on, go on, go on. So she kept talking, and she kept talking super fast because she was not comfortable. And I had to point that out to him. And now he's feeling like, holy shit, that's really bad. That's really bad. They have to do it their way. They have to do it their way. So that idea that he was worshiping me as I was playing the audio, and he was talking about that watch. That was the very first month of Kaizen 1, the first time he took the course. He was resisting me on this watch. And during the first month, I had to yell at him a lot because his friend got laid under my coaching. His 40-year-old friend, his German friend, tall guy, he had like shitty hair, sure, but he had decent fashion, and he has a cool job. So women do like him. He banged a 20-year-old. Then he banged a 19-year-old in Germany. Afterwards, after Kaizen. So his friend was referred to me, that short guy. He was a very resistant fuck. During the first month, I yelled him like crazy. And one point, he finally says, fine. Like he said, I'm going to do it your way. So he tried to tell my student that. He never worshipped me. He was fighting with me. All the students fight with me at some point in the beginning. At the end, when they finally let go of their ego, that's why sometimes they say yes, sir, on the boot camp. It's not because this is like some kind of fucking cult and I'm a drill sergeant and they have no choice except to be minion. No, it's because they realize by following my advice, it does not blow up in their face, and they always get small victories, which leads to a lay or a girlfriend. Some of the students even got model girlfriends. So having said that, I'll post all of that shit during COVID too, of all things. It's, then they say yes, sir, because they know whatever I'm saying, even though they disagree with it, they fucking do it. They fucking do it. That's the difference. Even for Indian student, in boot camp, he didn't listen for a while. He didn't listen. That's why it took him so long. But he lost his virginity. He was the worst student of all time. Give a thumbs up if you guys are learning a lot. But they have to do it their way. All RSD victims cannot follow the Johnny Elite method 100%. They always say, "You told me to do this." They only follow like a little bit, and they do it their way. If you were to rate out of 10, they only do it like 1 out of 10. They're that fucked up. Seriously, they're that fucked up. Okay. But eventually, after a month, when I finally improved his Instagram, he had to stand next to a woman. He had to get a picture. He's like, "John, I've never done that before. I failed at this." I was like, "Shut the fuck up, you old fuck," right? He's like, "What? Shut the fuck up, you old fuck," right? I'm studying Elite 30. Cool. Can you send me a Skype text? You should have me on Skype. So having said that, when he finally did it my way, and then he's like, "Oh shit, I got a picture next to this woman." I was like, "Good, now get another one, you dumb fuck." "Yes, sir." That's when the "yes, sir" happened. The thing is that you always do it your way. So this is called like your mental filter. And that's why I try to tell him. You'll never understand the general. You'll never understand the Elon Musk of the world. People like me I'm not going to lie. I'm fucking smart as shit. And you guys all know that. I don't need to brag. I'm smarter than every fucking dating coach out there combined. You guys don't know shit. You're small brains. You got these guys saying, "Oh, I work on like missile defense and all that shit, and I'm so intelligent." Yeah, you couldn't even fucking get more than 2 late testimonials. And JT Tran, fucking NASA scientist, rocket science, couldn't even get more than 1 fucking late testimonials during COVID-19. Queefing Casanova, fucking engineer or some shit like that in some lab. You couldn't even get more than 1 fucking late testimonial for Daygame. Fucking 6 polls, you don't even know if they're lays. That's it for the COVID. That's how fucking smart they really are. Yeah, they're really fucking smart. I think they're fucking stupid, to be honest. It's like, you know how many fucking late testimonials I have? More than 10. Like 10 fucking nukes. So when I deployed them, because I'm kind of lazy, you'll see. And you'll be like, "Holy shit, man. These guys who got laid follow my fucking advice. They're Team A, like Navy SEALs. They already got laid. They already exited the game. They already have a girlfriend that's a model, and they don't need any more of this stuff because they already got the skills because they fucking listened. Team B is a work in progress, and Team C is they're never gonna fucking procreate. I watched Straight Hour 60. They plan on doing that tomorrow. It's pure gold. Think about it this way: the Kaizen student right now is spending like 1,000 fucking reps now, and every 100 reps, I get to correct it for his body language. 100 fucking reps. And think about the Middle Eastern student. He spends 16 hours a day practicing that. Every day he practiced for 16 hours. In the social circle, he practiced in front of the mirror first for the first 10 hours. He practiced a few hours in a social circle, and he goes out to the code approach. So I contacted him because afterwards, for him, he got laid in 1 week. The second week, he fingered a woman because he could not get it up. He fingered her for 1 hour. After that, he was talking to a model, right? There's another student about to bang a model. I told him not to go for it. Her boyfriend is in jail, but he's like, "Oh, I can fight. I don't give a fuck," right? He's 5'7", Middle Eastern. And what happened was that he still Snapchat with her. Good thing he didn't fuck her like I told him not to. Her boyfriend comes out of jail, threatens my student. My student knocks the shell of another guy's eyes, and the other guy's blind. And then the other people left. And they came back with 3 guys, 2 Middle Eastern guys, and 1 Somali. And they stabbed him in the chest 3 times with a knife. And it went through the jacket, but it did not go through his chest. It's not the first time my students did not, there are other students out there that did not listen to me. And they also got stabbed because they're always crazy fucking psychos out there by another Middle Eastern. Middle Eastern people are stabbing some of my students. So you got to be careful out there. Got to be careful. It's not trying to be racist. I'm pointing something out. When I was teaching in London, it's always like people getting stabbed. But I bet you anything, most of them are Middle Eastern. Most of them. It's just something to look out for. I have a lot of Middle Eastern students. and they respect me a lot because I'm more alpha than them. They respect me a lot, but there seems to be a little bit prone to violence. So if you cheat on, you bang a Persian chick or something, and they find out, they're gonna come after you. They will retaliate. So be careful. I'm just telling you guys the truth, not to be racist here. I'm not a racist person. I'm just pointing out the truth. In this fucking woke society, no one can ever speak the fucking truth anymore. But I'm going to speak the truth. I don't give a fuck because it's the truth. But I contacted him. And I just want to see if he's okay. So he says, no, bro, I can't do Daygame here. It's my siblings and people knowing. So he moved to Turkey after he moved out of that country for a short while to hang around with his relatives again after he got stabbed in the chest 3 times. I'm still practicing body language and social skills with everybody. So that means he hadn't stopped practicing Elite 30. Even though he almost banged a model, he banged a woman. And after 6 years of RSD victim shit, and he got no results before. And now after Elite 30, in less than in a week, he got laid. And in the second week or a week and a half, he fucking fingered another woman. His whole social circle was just begging for him now. He couldn't even get the attention of the women in it before. Didn't even give a shit. So don't just watch the course Elite 30. Practice it like he did. Model after him. And the reason why he's putting huge hours is because RSD victims are know-it-alls and they always do it their way. So they have bad habits. To break a bad habit, think about it this way. It takes about 1,000 approaches or something, which RSD says your first 1,000 doesn't count. Your first 1,000 approaches are going to create a new neural pathways of bad habits into your body. That's exactly what's been happening. So you need lots and lots of drills to break the bad habits. So I would spend 1,000 reps correctly, as best as you can. Check every single 100, record yourself, and see if you can do it from Elite 30. And once you can fix the body language and everything, a lot of things would change in your life. Exactly like the other students. People have been promoted over this too in jobs and stuff. It's gotten the guys who are 5'2" even laid from Europe. No, Europe, I mean Asia. And the guy's about to kill himself, but he didn't make a testimonial. Ungrateful fuck. But I digress. The important lesson is I'm always right. And you'll never understand my mindset. So it's like a stupid soldier saying to the general, I don't agree with you. How about you just teach me how I can run my own drills in a boot camp, right? On myself, how to drill in the army. And I won't want to listen to you, John. I'm just going to do it my way. I'm not going to wear a fucking helmet or use the right hairstyle. I'm not going to use a helmet. I'm just going to get my head shot off. That's what they're thinking. You see how fucking stupid they are? They never can move forward because they're always holding the handbrakes. All the time. They're always holding the handbrakes. So every time they resist, make an excuse or go, hot air in the hair. Guess what happens? The car does not move forward. This is my first dating product I bought with my own money. Excellent. You should also have me on Skype. So if you have me on Skype, right, send me a message. Because usually when you buy the product from me, there's a Skype. Then you should use up your Skype at some point in the future. You can look at your body language and stuff. So, but very, very cool that you got it. These days, I don't know what's up, but less people are spending money. I have noticed that a lot of people have here on YouTube Live have objections about money. Right? A lot of people have objections about money, like, oh, I want to buy your courses, John. It's just too expensive. I don't have a job. Get a fucking job. Right? And the people that are training under me, like you see the guy in Old Man Kaizen, a lot of these guys have money. They're essential workers, and they're still working throughout the whole lockdown 1, 2, and 3. And you're still in lockdown 3 right now. That's why you guys are depressed. Most of my students are essential workers. So they work in the medical field. They work as engineers, they work in restaurants, or not really restaurants, but they're more logical accountants. There's a lot of people with very logical jobs and they make a lot of money. So that's why they train under me. They're fine. But I want to help everyone else out too. And I raised the price on Elite 30, but I'm adding a 1.5 hour Skype instead. So sorry, this nose is getting itchy. I don't know. Okay, let's continue. So, you'll never ever understand me, and I want to play something that will hit the point home. Sometimes I tell the students to listen to this Dan Pena clip, and a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't like Dan Pena," right? Like, listen to what CoffeeZilla. Oh, who gives a fuck? if he's got student results, then I don't see why I don't have to listen to him. Yes, I met him. And a lot of people think that, oh, Dan Pena is my, I'm a student of Dan Pena. And no, I'm not a student of his. But I do like what he has to say. And listen to this. Sorry, my nose getting itchy. I just cut the nose hairs in. It explains why you're poor. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in here. So
Matthew and I were discussing some of the things about why you discounted on the subconscious level some of the things that have happened, because absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. And he said there's something very profound for an Australian. This is heavy duty shit. But he said, I decided to do it, even though it was stupid, I decided to do it.
So the guy says, even though it's stupid, I decided to do it. Sometimes you got to do it and not think about it. You need to stop being smart. Give it a thumbs up if you guys learning something. You RSD victims who need stop thinking you're very smart. The odds are I'm probably much smarter than you. If I'm smarter than all the other dating coaches who are using mystery method, and smarter than Queef and Casanova, and smarter than JT Trent and self-proclaimed highlight count guy, then what the fuck are you resisting? If everything else turns out to be 100% true, and Laurie Grew over here has 2 fucking lays just from the YouTube live, and other students, like in last YouTube live, another student also got laid just from the YouTube live. Actually, another 2 more students. One guy used it for the fashion, but not entirely. Like, he should be using my game instead to get more lays. Laurie Grew here and somebody else giving too much fucking value. I want to have more students. And I need you guys to stop being cheap and investing in stuff. I know during COVID-19, you don't want to spend as much money. And there's a hesitancy. But I want to have more students. And I didn't post the testimonials for a while on purpose. I want to see if you guys can still listen to me, even if I'm not posting testimonials nonstop. I got so many testimonials, I do not exaggerate about the student results. I even played in the last YouTube live, like 2 or 3 of them. And you guys heard it. And that's just the beginning. There's if there's 10, there's another 7 of them. This is just the beginning. And that, I haven't even posted the 52-year-old man's lay testimonial yet. It'll freak you all out that a 53-year-old fat, bald fuck can get a girlfriend under my training, a separate blowjob. You probably think it's impossible. And he's dating a bunch of 20-year-olds. You probably think it's impossible. But here it is, it happened. And then what? If I start posting all the screenshot testimonials of all the black students that are Justin Wayne dick lickers, who basically would not make me a video testimonial because they're ungrateful fucks, then there'll be another fucking a bunch of them, and especially Middle Eastern students too, other ones in the past. I can post so many testimonials nonstop for screenshots and read it out. Then you'll see it's just going to be over 100 video testimonials if I'm not lazy. But I digress. But listen to the logic behind this, because it's going to make a lot of sense.
Stupid meaning follow the process to an intellectually bright guy who's an engineer. And see, you won't. Figure out a better way. And he followed the stupid process that works and has been working for 45 years, 20 some years before when I was doing it, and 22 years since I've been coaching. And he called it. He wasn't trying to be insulting or anything. He says, I just decided to follow it, How did you say it?
So this guy, right, rather than trying to be intellectual about it, he finally followed the fucking steps. So just like this student, he hasn't been able to follow the steps because he needs to understand everything that goes on behind it. And I have to keep trying to convince him of shit. So there's something wrong with his brain. He's no longer processing information because he's stupid with a low fucking IQ, and he needs to understand every fucking detail. Listen.
I was just trying to be stupid. Shut that pot off of my brain and just do it.
You guys can hear this, right?
And what happened? He did it. And that's why it's hard for the YouTubers and all the other, because you can't dumb down. You will not believe that it's easy. You can't, you won't.
So he's saying if the steps sound easy, people can dismiss, basically. People just can't believe it if they actually do it and get the results.
But he put it very succinctly. He just dumbed down and shut off that part of his brain and just followed the steps. You don't need fucking case studies. You have a fucking template. You have a motherfucking script that a fucking monkey can read. That Alex wants a fucking case study because he wants to know the shit behind it because he's stupid. And that's why he's fucking poor. You don't need any motherfucking case studies. How many fucking times do I have to say? You had the fucking script. I said don't change a fucking word on the script. Not a comma. If it's got misspelled fucking words, send it out misspelled. The last thing you fucking need is a fucking case study. This is why you're fucking poor. This is why the cocksuckers watching this on YouTube are so fucking poor.
So besides all the yelling, and the RSD victims are saying, well, that's not high vibrational energy. You have to understand there's a lot of wisdom in what he says. He says, because people are trying to intellectualize everything, they'll never be able to take the action to do it. They'll never follow it exactly. He says, follow the exact script or the exact recipe. Don't change a word on it. Just like I say, don't take a dump in it. Because all the RSD victims, they need to add their own contribution. Like, just take a dump right into the recipe. That's just how they think. If they don't put their own spin on the recipe when I tell them to do something, this is why it's impossible to get RSD victim to follow you exactly. And I had another student, good-looking guy, Indian. He just wouldn't follow a single fucking thing. He failed every fucking exercise from Johnny Elite Access. And I feel sorry for him because he's a tall and good-looking, handsome guy. He's better looking than most of the Indian students, well, except for my best friend, old roommate. But he's the second best looking. And he still didn't fucking follow it. Good bone structure, everything. Like, square jaw. Like, he had all that. But he didn't follow the fucking recipe. He had to intellectualize it, and he had to try and teach himself. That's the problem with these people. The worst students that are part of Team C are the ones who try and teach themselves. They don't want Johnny Elite to be the fucking general. They don't want Johnny Elite to be the general. They want to be their own general. They want to take a little bit of my advice and try to teach themselves. But how is that, helping you in your life? Has that really helped you guys? You dumb motherfuckers? Of course not. It blew up in your fucking face because it's low self-esteem. When you try to grab the steering wheel out of my hands, it's low self-esteem. If you're going to listen to my advice with Elite 30, I would suggest you do not change a fucking word. Like Dan Pena says, follow the fucking script. If it's misspelled, send it out misspelled. The last thing you need is a case study. What he's trying to say is that if there's anything that's exact, and even if I roll a typo or said a typo, you say that exact thing. You do exactly what it says. You don't add your own fucking spin to it. And RSD victims are like, well, but I got to do it my way, right? You find your own hairstyle, right? Find your own fashion. They got to do it their way. They got to do it their fucking way. And this is why they fucking fail. You can't just fucking inject steroids and hopefully that solves all RSD problems or, depend on value like status or lifestyle. You can't just have some fucking value and 1% of the RSD victims get results in Daygame and preach to the 99% without any fucking value. That's my point. Why preach to the 99% when that 1% has so much fucking SMV, a sexual market value? They're above the 20 out of 35 line, and they're preaching to everyone else who's below that. Like, oh, yeah, RSD is this. RSD victims are stubborn. I'm not exaggerating. They're very, very stubborn. They're all exactly the same. Let's see. The thing is that the students, they don't always like me. You may find it hard to believe. A lot of you do not like to be yelled at. But because when you guys get laid over and over because of it, you tolerate it. You're like, you know what? I fucking hate Johnny Elite, but I know that if I listen to Johnny Elite, I'm going to get laid automatically. So I can't fucking resist. I can resist. I can believe whatever the shit I want. But as long as I do what he says, it's an automatic fucking lay. Automatic fucking lay. So they just put their ego aside. And sometimes people train on me. They don't even fucking like me. They just bite their fucking tongue and shut the fuck up and do it. They get as late as fast as possible, and they're indifferent afterwards. They become ungrateful. But it's fine with me. You still got laid. As long as you make a video testimonial, I'm cool with that. You don't have to like me. You don't have to fucking like me. But you can see how their mindsets are. They have to understand every fucking detail. So that's why I think they don't always like me. But as long as they get results, they're okay with it. They're cool with it. So let's see. Yeah, whatever you dismiss will blow up in your face. That's what I wrote next. Whatever you dismiss, the very thing you dismiss. And this is why I talk about the 5 mindsets, how I judge all the students. How teachable and coachable are you? Remember that? Remember that video I made, the 5 mindsets to replace all RSD mindsets? It's not some fucking made up bullshit. Because when I'm thinking for this student resisting me before I talk him on the phone, for hours, I asked him, like, what was your teachability or coachability? Out of 10. In reality, it was 0 at that time. 0. He had to do it his way. So I wasn't mad because of the haircut thing, no, or getting a hair dryer. It's because his mindset was at 0. How adaptable are you? That's the way I asked him. How adaptable? 0. It takes forever to get something done because he has to do it his way. So it's really like 0.5 or 1. Like, how much skills does he have out of 10? Really like 0.5 or 1. It's just barely any fucking skills. He could finally learn how to actively listen for once in his life. And has increased his game dramatically. And that's just one of the days of Elite 30 active listening. Which is funny. This is one of the fucking days, which is so important. I'm planning on buying the playbook. Cool. Isn't cutting your own hair very difficult? No, you just need a fucking mirror. And just do it yourself. Right? So I've done it myself. Like, all that's me. Hell, even I color my own fucking hair. Don't mind the messiness. Oh, let's go K-pop today. Look at me. 안녕하세요. I'm a K-pop artist. Hello. I'm Korean. Okay, let's go Korean today, okay? Fucking Asian hairstyle. See, I can pull off a K-pop look because I'm good looking. You guys can't, so stop fucking having a stupid fucking Asian haircut. If you're not good looking, then what the fuck are you doing with the shit fucking hairstyle? Stupid. All right. So the second thing about the mindset is, how adaptable. Number 3 is how much skill you have, and which is very low. How much believability did he have after he resisted me? His believability went down to 0 because he didn't want to believe all the testimonials, even though I explained it to him, because he's considering. Whenever a person considers RSD victim, it's different than accepting. Accepting is when he's doing everything I'm saying. When he's considering, like, I'll think about it. Stupid people consider. Smart people apply. Dumb people. So I was wondering, why would this guy consider, even though he originally saw another student of mine who fucked me over for $2.2 million after I taught him how to close with a 90% close rate, and he made that much money. And I'm sure it's higher now. And he won 3 Toastmasters, and he resisted because he got egotistical for number 4 in 3 weeks. And he also had a fiance back then. He had 3 fuck buddies under my training in 3 weeks. And he's the other third one, the Korean one. He fucked a Latina black and then a Latina and then a Korean, and she's his fiance under my training. I'm not sure if they're married right now. But that guy was resistant shit. To buy wristwatch, what should we consider? You want to get something that actually looks like a Rolex. So I know you guys cannot really afford a Rolex like this, But however, you want something that actually looks like a Rolex. That is what they call homage. This is not a homage. Look. This is actually a fucking Rolex. Look at that. So this is probably way above your world's best Daygame colors, not just Daygame. Yes, exactly. But if you got a watch like a homage, that means every single gold watch that you find at a pharmacy or, electronics store that looks expensive doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit because it's wasting your fucking time. I shouldn't be telling you guys this secrets and stuff. I shouldn't be telling you guys this, but women are very symbolic. They know what's a positive stereotype. This is not the most expensive watch. There are other watch brands that are way, way more expensive than Rolex. For example, so the 50-year-old student get laid from Elite 30 only. He got laid from Kaizen. So he took a program with just the body language for 30 days. Lots of yelling and lots of drills. And he got laid. He got a blowjob first and he got a girlfriend. 6 days in a row and she turned to a girlfriend. And the woman is way younger than him and way more attractive. So, let's see. Testimonies upon testimonies. The ladies keeps coming. Yeah, I mean, I could literally post a testimonial every 3 days for the rest of the fucking year. It would never end. I just post another one. I could just keep doing that. But I want to see if you guys will listen to me without doing that. I hope you guys do. All right. So I was wondering, why was that guy considering? Because also, besides the believability index, which is 0 now or very low, the thoughts and feelings were fucked up because his feelings were like, I gotta put heat on my hair. And his thoughts are all fucked up because he's so busy considering. If you guys listen to me and consider, you're not listening to me. You're listening from your own stubbornness. And that guy realized that he's fucking stupid and low IQ. It's not to insult him. He knows that I call him that because he referenced that all the time. Not everyone's bright, and I understand that. He understands that. It's okay. You don't have to be bright. Now he's just realizing, like my other students told him, just do what John says. You don't have to understand it. That relieves him of the burden of trying to understand my mindset, because by the time I explain it to him, it'll go over his fucking head. It'll never make any fucking sense. What's your view on single moms in Daygame? Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no, no. To the no, no. Hell to the no. That's my view on it. Hell no. Another fucking ad. So I would say absolutely fucking no. So.
Let it go. My name Bishop Bullweber. I got the first church, nothing but the truth. What you say? Sister Lily may go back in the kitchen, cause when it get to the moon, hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. To the no. Listen, I got people in the church.
So that's your answer. Hell no. So I want to talk about the mindset of why this guy dismissed all of the testimonials. And Dan Pena says over here, he calls everyone cunts here, and he grabs like a Vagisil. But it seems like an old man just yelling at people, but I can see a lot of wisdom in what he's saying. I can decode it. He talks about the believability mindset that I talk about. So you're saying, Johnny Lee, all these guys that are teaching people making a lot of money, they're using the same 5 mindsets? I can't say anything more because usually I can't say anything more, but they all use the same 5 mindsets. So he's going to talk about believability. So
I could put a script for the questions and we could just, they don't fucking believe it. If you don't believe it, you won't do it. If you don't think you can fuck all night, guys, believe me, you ain't gonna fuck all night. If you think you can fuck all night, by God, you're gonna die trying. And they, and on the webinars, you're gonna hear it again, and you're gonna ask the same motherfucking questions every time. I could put a script for the questions, and we could just skip all that shit and just give you the questions, because they're 80, 90, 95% the same questions. Every motherfucker that asks the questions, the same questions over and over. You're gonna hear it on the webinars every day. You're gonna hear webinars. The same fucking question. They don't believe it. And even when the motherfucker says it, it's like he's a marionette. Like I'm pulling, making his lips move. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. You have never met anybody like me, and you probably never will, because you're a cunt with the vagina cream. I give you this vagina cream so you can rub it on your snatch, because you're all cunts. And everybody you know is a cunt. Don't you understand that? Do you know anybody with any balls whatsoever? Do you know any real men? No. The answer is no. And then when you hear some guy, you don't want to believe him.
It's just like a testimonial. So he's saying, like, for example, the testimonials, you don't want to believe it. You don't want to believe it. He's saying that about the other student, but he's not explaining why. Because there's a lot of wisdom here. You might think, did he mentor me? Like I said, I only met him when I went to California, but he's not like, he did not mentor me.
Because that means more pressure's on you. That's what it really means.
Why is it so quiet?
You're looking for every fucking way to give you some cushion so you can fail. And that's how you've led your life.
I'll read this again.
To give you some cushion so you can fail. And that's how you've led your life. And all the little snatches that you run around with. It's like the example I was giving you.
So basically he's saying that the reason why they don't believe it is because they want to give themselves some cushion to fail. They don't want to acknowledge the testimonials, even they're fucking, people that they wing with before, then they realize that they're my testimonials. They don't want to believe it because that would mean they have to be fucking responsible for the shit that goes on in their life. They can't tell themselves the dumb stories. They can't run their own life their own way. Because as soon as they listen to the testimonials and accept it, rather than trying to, like fucking dismissing it and just saying, oh, they're minions and keep dismissing, it's easier to fucking dismiss. Sheeps dismiss. Like my last video, it's just easier to dismiss. So that way is a mental laziness. They like to dismiss. They don't want to believe it because they want to have a cushion to fail. If they have to believe it, then all these other students getting laid under my coaching nonstop, then they realize that they're fucked up. They don't want to accept that. They don't want to accept that they're shitty fucking students, that they're very autistic and they have to do it. They don't want to accept that. They don't. So that's why they don't want to believe it.
Mother can beat up your dad. There's something ain't right with that. Forget political correctness. But when your mom can kick the shit out of your father, I mean, God almighty, am I the only cocksucker on the planet that thinks that's wrong? Forget the fact that they're fighting. But am I the only one? Jesus Christ. But that's where we are. You ask the same questions over and over because you don't want, this can't be possible. I'm 44 years old. I make $460,000 a year. And I am a cunt. And I hang around with cunts. And my kids are cunts. I might as well kill myself. It's dead fucking simple. How many times did he say it was simple? It's dead fucking simple. And he went through the first 4 steps, which you're going to slide over.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the mindset, belief. So you're saying that John, whatever he's teaching, he's secretly trying to tell people about the believability index. That's correct. He's not the only one that talks about the believability index, although he's not like a billionaire or anything like that, but he does teach billionaires. But let's hear another billionaire. Okay. Because he made a song called Don't Doubt Your Vibe. One second. So who is this billionaire that made a song called Don't Doubt Your Vibe? That's also talking about believability. So who made this song? Elon Musk. Once again, he's talking about Johnny Elite's 5 mindsets. So why is John teaching you these secret 5 mindsets? Do they have further implications in terms of making money for billionaires? Well, maybe John should not talk about the 5 mindsets because usually other places come after you. But I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna indirectly talk about. They all indirectly talk about the 5 mindsets. You know that? All the billionaires. Why do you think Bill Gates reads so much? Because they're teachable and changeable. They don't listen to every book. They only listen to that 1% of books. Don't you guys get it? You guys are not teachable or changeable. That's why you guys are fucking poor. And this is why you guys don't accomplish shit. This is why you're not on top of the world. Like I am. I'm like the best Daygame coach in existence. I'm on top of the fucking world. Because you don't have the mindsets for it. The general population is dumb. They're emotional, which is affecting the last mindset, which is the manifestation mindset, emotional snowflake cunts. So you get cunt results in everything in your fucking life. Cunt this, cunt that. Don't you get it? Whatever I'm telling you, these 5 mindsets are actually very profound. And this student has shit fucking mindsets. He has the lowest one in COVID-19. He's like 2 out of 50 or 2.5. So now he replaced the old man and other students as the worst student. So I told him, you got one more last fucking chance with me, then get the fuck out. So he has to do exactly what I say now. And I should have yelled before. This is why I yell. I stopped yelling because I don't want to seem like an asshole. And elite access is only option 3 I get to yell at them. Like the Indian student, can you yell at me? I can't focus. So I say, play white noise in the background. That could help your brain focus, even more powerful than Ritalin. And he's like, oh shit, that's a great idea. So I didn't have to yell at him. But that's one of the options. It is not a coaching program like Kaizen or 3 months of proficiency. So therefore, I can't really yell at them like that. So I can't really yell at them. Just ignore that. It's just my speaker. But yeah. So if you want to reduce, sometimes in life, you got to reduce your doubt. And that's the problem with him. He just keeps doubting. If you play this song over and over by Elon Musk, guess what happens to your doubt? You stop doubting yourself because he created with his neural pathways. You loop this over and over, the song, Don't Doubt Your Vibe. Whatever doubt you have in your life, it will start to disappear over time, subconsciously. You got a billionaire's neural pathways. That's why books are so important, because they have neural pathways of the writers. But not every writer you should listen to. I don't listen to everyone. But you guys don't get it, because it's like John's coming from the future, going back in the past, trying to explain to you all this profound shit, the mindsets, RSD victims. But it goes over your head because RSD victims and pickup artists is just so autistic and so opinions as facts that whatever I'm saying always goes over everybody's head. It's like, John, can you simplify it for us? No. One day you'll understand this message. Maybe many years down the road, when you listen to this again, you're like, whoa, shit, this 5 mindsets, so profound. Stop doing it your way. You will never understand me. It's like understanding in general. If a general have to explain to a fucking soldier and fly down from a helicopter to the battlefield and explain to the dumb fucking soldier who does not follow orders and then have to fly back to command center, and then he asks another dumb question, have to fly back down there and then deal with him, you're going to lose the fucking war because it's going to be delayed, just like he has been delaying things because he has to refund the fucking razor that he bought. He has to refund it. And then he has to wait a week before it gets processed. Plus a few days to get it shipped back to Amazon, which they don't even accept it back. They just destroy it in a fucking dumpster or, a landfill. They don't give a fuck. They're so rich. They're not going to, if you return anything to Amazon, they're going to throw in the fucking landfill. They don't give a fuck. Just wasting everyone's time. Just to get the same razor I told him to get in the beginning. He should just listen in the first place. He didn't understand why I picked these 3 items. He didn't understand it. By the time I explained it to him, he's already lost the fucking battle. RSD victims, the fucking know-it-alls are like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy your product, but I'm not going to use your Skype because I know you don't know shit. You guys are dumb. And the smart people, like Laurie Grew over here, he just did exactly everything I said and he got laid twice. Many of you got laid a few times. listening to YouTube live. When you stop getting in your own fucking way and making it harder on yourself, you begin to get results. If you accept everything I'm teaching you is accurate and is 100% accurate, and you can adapt to the battlefield, guess what? You don't have to be delusional anymore and resistant. What the fuck do you know? Even the Indian student says that, oh, I feel like I'm the expert. I know you're the expert, John, but I always feel like I'm right. I don't know why I feel like that. That's what he says. But my brain tells me that. No, your self-esteem tells you that you're right. Your low self-esteem and high ego and your delusions. This Vietnamese student does not know he's delusional, and now he realized it blew up in his fucking face exactly the same way the Indian student told him. Exactly. Now he realized he has to take more time to do this, and he's just gonna be walking girls on, Insta hangouts, wasting everyone's fucking time. Not even pulling her back home, and just doing just like the other fucking Chinese student who's on Elite Access. He insta-dated a few strippers, but he didn't bring them home. He depended on the fucking phone number, the mercy of the phone number. This is what happens when you don't listen to Johnny Elite, and you fucking Asian people are trying to do it your way. You always have to get in your own fucking way. And before, the other guy should have wear the fucking pants I told him to, the blazer, and the fucking shoes that he could have fucking closed that day with that stripper. But no, he just had to get in his own fucking way. And this is why they burn out easily. The Asians will burn out faster. And I'm telling you, after RSD shit, in a month or two, they're going to burn out and go to fucking Thailand eventually. They're all going to quit and go to Thailand. I know your secret because you're getting your own fucking way. White noise help you focus? Yeah. Would there be a book on Johnny Elite 30 in the future? No. But I might make a new book, based on the art of war, the Chinese general, so you can understand my Daygame system. I'm going to call it the science of Daygame. I don't know, something like that, or science of something, science of game, science of day. Or the Johnny Elite method to erase the mystery method. I don't know, maybe something like that. I came here before mystery. Mystery 2003. I'm 2001 mystery. In Ross, right? You're not even fucking doing day game. You're a night gamer before. So I was the first day gamer in the world for PUA, for dating coach. I wasn't a dating coach back then, but I was the first PUA style one. Because I did that at university campus by accident, because this night game guide was actually, I thought it was day game. Johnny Lee's the first day gamer in the world. That's not unnatural. You're like, John, you look so young, right? There's no way you're like that. You look so young. You look like you're fucking maybe 23 or 24 tops, right? Like, well, too fucking bad because I don't age. I'll never age. I'm not going to say my age, but the point is I'm never going to age. And you get all this fucking wisdom. And where does this wisdom come from? These students don't realize. When you field test every fucking system, you can recite every fucking system, just like I did throughout YouTube Live, Rushu, all the systems, every fucking system out there. I field tested and split tested it. Every fucking system. So if I already gone through the work to see what works and what doesn't work for a low SMV Asian guy, then why the fuck are you resisting? The reason why I'm more wise than you is because I made more mistakes than you. I've done more approaches than you. More experience than you. That's the difference. I have way more experience. I knew exactly what not to do. And you wonder, like, for ClickFunnels, why is Russell Brunson such a genius? It's very simple. He's just made more mistakes than everyone else. He failed in 15 businesses before, or something like that, 14 businesses, and ClickFunnels made him like a fucking fortune. And now he has a bunch of guys who made millions in his ClickFunnels awards. But it took him fucking 14 business failures just to get there. So you don't know what kind of hell I've gone through to get you this stuff. Just to have dumb motherfuckers try and reinvent the fucking wheel, rerunning my fucking path, their sociopath. Because they're fucking know-it-alls. They don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. That's all I gotta say for today. I'd rather spend an hour and a half here rather than spending 6 hours video editing a 10-minute clip, because that's how long it usually takes. I'm going to make a new sales letter soon. I'm going to try to put something out there for Elite Inner Circle. You guys don't even know what the Elite Inner Circle is. I have an inner circle just like this YouTube Live, except that I actually teach them real shit. I'm teaching you guys like like the strategies, but it doesn't mean you can implement it. I teach them the tactics in the inner circle. There's more depth. Just like every video you see, there's more and more depth from the mindsets all the way up to this, the RSD victims, the way they think. But they get the full depth. You guys just get the surface level compared to what I know. And you're always seeing the game keeps expanding. But here's the funny thing you don't realize. Here's the biggest mindfuck. I've been teaching the same fucking game from beginning of Gaming Elite till now. Exactly the same fucking game. When you Skype with me, you learn a different style of game. It's the same fucking game. Body language. All the bootcamp students that got laid as Gaming Elite, body language. But people dismiss. No, it can't be like that. We need more basics than tactics. Well, this is where you get coaching from me. Because there might be one thing to know what to do. There's a difference between knowing what to do and actually getting trained on how to do it. I know my system is more skill-based, so it takes a little bit of practice and a little bit of training. I know that's unfair because you guys love game. I'm more game, right? Because game is like requires no fucking skills. Game is like a fucking one-step fucking flirting and direct, and there's no social skills because there's 3 steps in social skills for the flow drill. You can't do it. Your brain shuts down. So you try to do it your way, right? That's the problem. You guys all do it your way because you're a bunch of fucking sociopaths, autistic fucks with shallow thinking you know everything better than me. And people like Laurie Grew over here, when they do it my way and doesn't think about it, he gets fucking late a few times. Like a lot of you here. And this is just the surface level and you're still getting late. Inner circle, man, the depth is crazy. And people can dismiss it because, oh, it can't be that simple. And that's the problem because everyone needs to complicate things. I talk about how RSD loves to complicate things. You look at stupid Chinese martial arts like wushu. They have all this fancy looking shit. And you're supposed, that is just like mental masturbation. I'll show you.
Catch Fortnite highlights with your screen.
1 second. I'll just show you women first on wushu. Okay? And this is a complete waste of time of a martial art. I'll show you. Wushu is a Chinese martial art and it has nothing to do with reality. It looks fancy, like a martial art movie. No, this is a different martial art. This one's called Taiji Quan. This is more of a circular form. I know all that shit. I'm a Krav Maga guy in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I'm more practical. But wushu is like, okay, this is Olympics or something? I don't know. Wushu is the dumbest martial art in the world. It's like a mental masturbation. It's like RSD here. You feel good because you're doing some fancy shit. You feel like you are, you have big balls and you feel like you are doing some fancy movements. But what the fuck does that have to do with Daygame? You have to overcomplicate shit. That's how you RSD victims like to think. Oh, it can't be as simple as Johnny Elite, right? Which is like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu mixed with MMA or Krav Maga. No, it can't be that fucking simple. It has to be complicated. You have to do these fancy-ass RSD Todd shit, and you got to feel good with your state of mind, mentally masturbating while you're getting your fucking head knocked in. Because that's how you guys are like. You're RSD victims. You need to have it complicated, and you need to you're going to dismiss. It's so easy to dismiss. It's so easy to dismiss. You always think it can never be that easy. It is that easy, but it's super difficult to implement because you guys cannot do more than 3 steps. 2 steps, your brain's already overloaded at 99%. 3 steps, you're fucked. And that's the problem. These guys are know-it-alls, shallow thinking, not bright. And they always love game tactics. They always love the lines because they're autistic. The lines does not require as much processing power. That's the secret. That's why you guys are doing it. Because you guys love the PUA lines. You love the game tactics because it's easier. Because you don't want to believe it. You don't want to believe that social skills is not super difficult. That's just how it is. You don't want to believe it. That's all I gotta say. This is my rant. So the other student did tell me it's okay if you make this YouTube live. He's perfectly okay with it. I said, can I make this YouTube live? And he's like, absolutely. Because sometimes he learns from the mistakes of other people. So you guys can learn from the mistakes. And from now on, you know, instead of like, oh, this is what he says, John, you're right about most things, but you're wrong about the small things. And now he realized the small things like the haircut, it blew up in his fucking face. Now he's wasting time and money trying to refund it and to get everything fixed. It turns out John was right. And I told you, this is the first time it blew up in your face. Guess what? It's going to happen over and over, just like the Indian student said. You're going to experience it blowing up in your fucking face over and over. Every time you try to resist me, and it's not fun. You'd be wasting 4 months. As soon as 4 months go by and you're resisting, guess what happens? You fail completely. If I let him do whatever the fuck he's going to do, in 4 months, he's going to waste all that time. The whole summer will be gone. That's the secret. I'm not just trying to be like some controlling narcissist or some Gordon Ramsay or Dan Pena. No. I'm telling you exactly what to do. So it saves you fucking time and saves you money. It saves you from bullshit. Stop making it hard on yourselves. That's all I got to say. That's my rant. See you next video. Johnny Lee out.